Hello, 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 everybody. How are we doing tonight? So, we are back with some more Tsukihime. Last time we finished up Arcuid's route, and today we are starting Ciel's route. As I've mentioned previously, as I've mentioned previously, I have read Arcuid's route before, but that is where I stopped. So, from this route on, this is stuff that I haven't seen before. That said, though, I'm looking at the flowchart, and it looks like Ciel's route doesn't actually branch off from arcs for a while, and I'm actually seeing like two different branch off points, like it splits off and then goes back into arc's route for a little bit and then splits off properly, which is interesting. But we are going to be treading over some familiar ground for a bit. I don't know how much we're going to get through today. I would like to get to at least the first branch off point, but that's quite far in. That said, I do have it set to skip over scenes that we've already read. So, with that in mind, let's start up our new route. Start from the beginning. You've already viewed this scene. Skip. We are going to go take a look. That's when we meet Ciel. Have already seen that. Skip. Let me see. Okay, so if we have 2 Ciel regard, then that takes us here. But then we don't get flag 6. And I think I need flag 6 in order to get over there. So we are not going to go to the hallway. I don't remember what we did last time. We might have gone to the cafeteria. So I'll say we'll eat lunch in class. I stay in the classroom. My lunch changes every day according to my mood. Some days lunch is made for me. On others, I might yearn for some udon and switch to the school lunches. When a meal is simply too much trouble, I go to the store and buy some milk and bread instead. I didn't ask for a lunch today. Since I'm not returning home to the Arimas, I turned down the offer this morning. Consequently, I won't have anything to eat if I stay in the classroom. I'll have to go to the cafeteria, even if I don't feel like it. So that's what it comes down to. I leave the classroom with some exasperation. The cafeteria is packed as usual. A long line of people waiting for their orders has developed. I joined the line and ordered Chikara udon, so it really wouldn't have mattered. Looking around the cafeteria, I spot a familiar face at a back table. Yo, Tono! Over here! Arihiko vigorously waves his arm. My head hurts. But there aren't any other empty seats, so I have no choice but to walk over to the table where my friend is sitting. Sheesh! You're late, Tono. I told you we have a special guest coming today, so you should have got here sooner. Despite his words, Arihiko is alone. So, Arihiko, who is this special guest? She dumped me. She said she was busy with something today. Said she'd come next time. Dumped you, huh? So is this guest a girl? Yeah, she's a senpai I've been hitting on. Well, she's popular with everyone, so I guess it can't be helped. Getting straight to the point, Arihiko slurps at his curry udon. He seems persistent, yet at the same time he's not. That's one of the good things about him. This is, like, really big. Hang on. I'll put it over there. A bit less disruptive over there. So, what was the real reason? Huh? What do you mean? The reason you were early this morning? You aren't the sort of person who comes to school early just because he gets up early, Arihiko-kun. I question Arihiko as I sit next to him eating my chikara udon. This is like exactly the scene that we saw before, but like with a little bit added at the beginning, I think. Arihiko gives an uncommitted response as he slurps away at his soup. Are you going back to your real house today, Tono? Yeah, I am. Wait, have I told you about that already? Nah, I just heard it from the teacher. Arihiko continues to wolf down his curry udon without glancing in my direction. I thought, maybe Tono will get really depressed, so I decided to check it out. I see. And your verdict? Pretty disappointing. It wasn't worth getting up early for. You really have too much time on your hands, Arihiko, I conclude, as I bite into the white rice cake in my chikara udon. That's the kind of person Arihiko is. Today's the day I return to the house of my real family, returning from the home of the adopted family who raised me. Arihiko must have heard about it somewhere and came to school early because he was worried about me. Arihiko, I think your appearance does you a disservice. You're really sentimental underneath. If it's the always melancholy Tono telling me that, then maybe I'm the real thing. Arihiko slurps noisily at his noodles. So, man, what's really going on? What do you mean? You've been living with the Arimas since primary school, right? It's been 8 years already. Your dad has basically disinherited you. Why is he suddenly calling you back now? He didn't disinherit me. He just kicked me out of the house somehow. Somehow. Yeah. Tono-kun, if there ever was a family that kicked their kid out of their house somehow, that's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. But it's so boring, it's not even funny. Arihiko spreads his arms and shrugs. Refusing to ever be serious is one of Arihiko's easy-to-understand traits. Yeah, I guess you're right. If you get kicked out of the house, laughing is all you really can do. Oh no, wait. Hang on. I think I messed it up altogether. Hang on. So I need flag 6 in order to get over here. Oh, that might not even be about... Oh yeah, Ciel's not coming up in all of this at all. Okay, no, hang on. Wait, huh? I'm so confused. What am I looking at? Oh, that's the wrong thing! Oh, that's where it branches off to the far side routes. Okay, hang on. We don't need flag 6. Shit. Hold up. We need flag 2. Where's flag 2? That's like way up here. Okay, we're going back because I messed it up again. Or not again, but I messed it up. My apologies. Start from the beginning. Okay, I messed that up. Skip. Go take a look. Skip. Okay. We go think in the hallway. We go out into the hallway to think about it. During lunchtime, the hall is packed. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I really wish this flowchart was easier to read. During lunchtime, the hall is packed. Students head to the cafeteria or to their favorite places, lunches in hand. Caught in the flow of people, I contemplate whether I should go to the cafeteria or the store. I'm somewhat taken aback at my own leisure. If I have time to waste, it'd be better to go to the cafeteria where Arihiko is. I begin walking towards the cafeteria. On the way there, a familiar face waves and runs up to me. Thank goodness! I've been looking for you, Tono-kun. Oh, Ciel senpai. Hello. I feel embarrassed for some reason and return her usual greeting. Yes, hello. Well, we've already met once today, so I guess it's not proper to say hello. A small smile floats onto Senpai's face, as if she found something amusing. Yeah, now that you mention it, I guess you're right. I avert my eyes and give a lukewarm reply, becoming increasingly embarrassed. I wonder. I should be used to speaking to Senpai like this, but for some reason I'm getting embarrassed. Tono-kun? Do you have some urgent business? You seem a bit unsettled. No, nothing like that. I don't, but for some reason her every move feels unfamiliar. I can't calm down. It's nothing. More importantly, Senpai, you said you were looking for me? Do you need me for something? Well, I wanted to thank you for this morning, so I was looking for you. For this morning? Ah, you mean in the courtyard? Yes, he helped her fix something, right? Of course. Sorry to ask, but are you going to have lunch? I sigh. Well, people usually eat lunch at lunchtime. Great! Then we can eat together. I'll treat you as thanks for this morning. Let's go to the cafeteria. Huh? Senpai smiles. Grabbing my wrist, she starts to walk. It's strange enough for a third year like Senpai to walk down the second year hall, but this attracts even more attention. The gazes of the students in the hall fall upon Senpai and me, and a murmur of conversation starts. But wait just a second. It's alright, you don't have to— I quickly shake her off my arm. I only did what I did this morning on a whim. There's no need for you to thank me. I draw back from Senpai, well aware of how flushed my face is. There's no need to be so reserved. Work should be rewarded. So please, let me treat you. Senpai grabs a hold of my arm again. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I just couldn't say that I'm embarrassed to be with her because we stand out so much. Come on, there won't be any seats left if we don't hurry. I'll listen to the details after we get to the cafeteria. Senpai starts walking, pulling my arm with a tug. Any further questions would bring more stares from the people around us in the hall. I don't know what Senpai is planning, but I peacefully accompany her to the cafeteria. Almost all the seats in the cafeteria are taken. I had spent about 10 minutes in the hallway, first spaced out, then talking with Senpai. Ugh. I just got jump scared by a bug. Where the heck did it go? Where'd it go? Huh. Anyways. So empty cafeteria seats are pretty much non-existent. I'll stand in line, Tono-kun. So please go get some seats. Is there any food you don't like? If there is, now's the time to let me know. Nope, there isn't. I'm not picky with food. Very well. I won't take long. Senpai lines up with everyone else. It seems my only choice is to obediently accept that she'll be treating me. But there aren't any seats left. I look around the bustling cafeteria. You can't find even 2 seats at this hour, let alone 2 seats to get there. I sigh. There, plain as day, is a table with not only 2, not 3, but 4 unoccupied seats. There's only one student sitting at the table, and it seems he noticed me while I was looking around for a seat. Yo, Tono! The student vigorously waving his hand is my dear classmate with the dyed orange hair. My head hurts. But there isn't anywhere else to sit. I have no choice but... There it is. There it is! Get out of here. I have no choice but to return the wave and walk towards the table where my friend is sitting. You're late. I told you to hurry because I've invited a special guest today. What the hell have you been up to? Arihiko begins to complain as soon as we are face to face. Yeah, come to think of it, you did. So, who is it? About that. She promised me yesterday she'd come, but she declined this morning. She said she has someone she wanted to thank or something, so she'd be busy this lunchtime. Arihiko sighs as he eats his chikara udon. Someone she wanted to thank? Those words catch my attention. Arihiko. That special guest wouldn't happen to be a third-year student, would she? Whoa. Arihiko's body jumps in shock. A rather energetic girl wearing glasses? Whoa! Arihiko begins quivering. The students at the tables around us stand up as if to make a fast escape. Are you psychic? Arihiko points at me fearfully. No, that doesn't mean I'm psychic. Sorry to keep you waiting. Good to see you found a seat, Tono-kun. There. Senpai arrives with a smile, carrying a silver tray. Arihiko's eyes are wide open in surprise. Huh? Inui-kun? What a coincidence! Still smiling, Senpai takes her seat. Arihiko gives a choked response. Here you go, Tono-kun. Please, eat until you're full. Even after all this time, I still can't shake off her smile. Alright. In that case, thanks for the food. Taking Arihiko's dumbfounded stare in stride, I sit down. Senpai sits in front of me while Arihiko sits beside me. Itadakimasu! Putting my hands together with a clap, I look down at the tray Senpai brought. And on the menu is... curry rice, and curry udon. I don't get it. Senpai? Yes? What is it, Tono-kun? About this. What's going on? What do you mean? It's lunch, isn't it? What else does it look like? What else, you say, but all I see is curry. Yes, it's curry. Senpai laughs happily. The problem is they all look like curry. There's 3 dishes. Of course. You're a boy, so you eat a lot. I'll have just one, so please take whatever you like. Okay. In that case, I'll take the curry rice and curry udon. The other choice is hell. Make sure to finish it, Tono-kun. After all, you aren't picky with food, are you? There isn't a shred of antagonism in Senpai's smile, nor is this some kind of a joke. She truly had good intentions. Yes, itadakimasu. I dig into the curry rice with my spoon in despair. And then, Tono-kun! From beside me came the cry of a dead man being reborn. How long are you going to ignore your dear best friend? Arihiko's elbow sinks into the side of my stomach with a thud. Eh? Inui-kun, do you know Tono-kun? Do I know him? We've been best friends since middle school. My best friend hits the table with a bang for emphasis. Really? The person who helped me this morning was Tono-kun. Oh yeah? If you had told me his name, I would have brought him here. So, did this guy do something for you? Yes, he helped me fix my splints. Huh? He helped you fix your shin splints? Arihiko frowned suspiciously. Well, I guess you would consider helping someone fix their shin splints a bit odd. No, fixing splints! Please don't make me angry when I am eating. Ciel-senpai gets angry. She seems to be someone you can never tire of watching. Oh my god, this... keeps jump scaring me every time it flies in front of a brightly lit part of my screen. Fixing splints. Oh, the splints in the courtyard. You were at it again? You sure enjoy that kind of thing, senpai, but you'd be better off if you gave up. If you keep doing things like that, the teachers will start expecting you to do them. That's alright. I do it because I enjoy it. You shouldn't talk about the teachers like that though, you know? They really care about the school. I'm finding it difficult to follow their conversation. Senpai, don't tell me that you normally do that sort of thing. Yeah. Didn't you know, Tono? Ciel-senpai is so handy they call her the shadow president of the student council. No, I was asking senpai. Wait, never mind. What on earth is the shadow president? Is she strong? I ask with my eyes. Yeah, responds Arihiko with an exaggerated nod. She's quite something, totally unlike the student council, which is the student council in name only. She's a third year who will solve anything for you if you ask her. Even got a fan club among the first years. And if something happens, the teachers all rely on her. There isn't a single teacher who complains about what senpai does. Arihiko speaks with pride as if he was actually talking about himself. Wow, Ciel-senpai sure is amazing. Even the teachers rely on you. I look at senpai, impressed. Yes. Thank you. Senpai turns bright red, embarrassed. Senpai churns her curry rice with her spoon. I guess it's to hide her embarrassment, but it reminds me of the enemy I have to face. Curry rice by itself is fine, but after that awaits curry udon. My doctor warned me not to eat too much, but I don't think there's anything else in this situation that I can do. So I start to dig into the rice. Munch, munch. Having decided to try to finish one dish quickly, I direct all my concentration to the rice. Meanwhile, senpai and Arihiko began talking about their own homes for some reason. I already know that Arihiko doesn't live with his parents, but it seems senpai is also living by herself. Apparently, senpai's apartment is quite close to school. It's roughly between the main street and the park. So, Tono-kun, where do you live? Huh? I silently eat my food when senpai, peering at me, asks a completely unrelated question. Where? Why do you ask, senpai? You already heard where I live, right, Tono-kun? I think it's unfair if I don't know where your house is. Unfair? You worry about the strangest things, senpai. It's not strange. If I don't know where you live, I can't visit you if something happens, right? I stop eating the curry rice. I have the feeling that something has been said that I should be jubilant about. Visit? You mean you'd come and visit me if I catch a cold or something? No, I wouldn't. I don't have any plans to visit at the moment. Smiling, Senpai replies instantly, as if stating the obvious. It seems like the euphoria is premature. Senpai doesn't seem to have any unusual intentions. I see now. That's just the way she is. I guess I have to tell you. Yeah, my house is nearby too, only a 40-minute walk. There's a residential district on top of the hill, right? Just go a little further and you're there. Oh yeah, you're moving today, right? Arihiko strikes his hand on the desk. Senpai tilts her head slightly. Moving? Tono-kun, were you a transfer student? Huh? Senpai asks a strange question. Arihiko meets my gaze. Listen, I've been here since the first year. We've known each other since then, right? Why are you asking if I'm a transfer student now? But Tono-kun, you moved yesterday, so moving doesn't automatically make you a transfer student. I'm just changing my address, not my school. Until now, I've been living with some relatives in the neighboring town. I'm just going back to my real home, that's all. Senpai, who wears a look of surprise, seems to understand. I see, you've only changed your residence, so now you live in the outskirts of town. Yeah, it's that colorful place on top of the hill. I'm moving there today. Could that possibly be the Tono-san mansion? Senpai asks with some hesitation. The Western-style house at the top of the hill is probably seen as something special by residents of this town. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tono mansion is ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's neither good nor bad. I don't quite understand it either. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling strange. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed, since I've always got a refuge at your place. Yeah, right. My house is no refuge of yours. When you come over during the holidays, my sister treats you better than me. That's probably only because Arihiko has terrible behavior, but I refrain from telling him that in the interests of preventing the conversation from getting any worse. To be honest, it's not pleasant to have my home raised as a topic of conversation. Wow, you two certainly get along well. Senpai peers at Arihiko and me. No way! Me and Tono would never help each other, no matter how much trouble we were in. In other words, we're enemies, mademoiselle. Weren't you calling yourselves best friends a moment ago? Arihiko says in a fed-up tone. I'm getting pretty fed up myself with his pseudo-foreignerisms, too. But your relationship is so good that Tono-kun has stayed over at your house before, right? Doesn't that mean you get along really well? You're wrong, Senpai. That damn Tono is too reserved toward his parents, and he'd come over to my place at every vacation. He's reserved toward them because they're taking care of him. That's why he comes over to my place, where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. Arihiko's fist trembles, as if to say unforgivable. Taking care, Tono-kun? Arihiko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay. You didn't say anything bad. I continue to eat my food without looking at Arihiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complained about that, he'll be in for some punishment. Arihiko nods to himself in agreement. His overwhelming optimism is something I am truly envious of. I'm sorry, Tono-kun. Did you not get along with your previous family? No, that's not it. He has no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could tell, they're a happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted kid, and he escaped my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied about. It's just that I've received so much from them already. I didn't want to be a further burden on them. I finish my rice as I reply. Now, only the curry udon is left. It's okay, senpai. Sorry for making you listen to something so boring. Not at all. I'm sorry for asking you something so strange. Senpai forces herself to look cheerful. The topic might be fine for a long-time friend like Arihiko, but a complex matter like this would only have been troublesome for Senpai. And to prove my point, Senpai sits there uneasily. Senpai. Sorry, but I've got something private to talk to Tono about. Would you mind leaving? Arihiko has no problems making such an offensive request. Isn't that phrase an indirect... No, a direct way of saying, we don't want you, senpai, so get lost? You idiot. What do you think you're saying? We can discuss those things anywhere. And senpai is still finishing her... lunch. Despite all the talking with Arihiko, senpai has finished her rice anyway. No, I understand. Well then, I'll be leaving. Senpai lowers her head in a quick bow and leaves. Only Arihiko and I remain at the table. I sigh. Well, it looks like Senpai was having a hard time too, so it was for the best, but you were really pushing it there, Arihiko. Well, it's not like I had a choice. Anyways, I guess I'll take the role of the guy she ends up disliking. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Arihiko slurps away at his chikara udon. It seems it has gone cold while we were talking to Senpai. Sorry. You were trying to hit on Senpai, weren't you? Of course! She's probably the #1 girl at our school. But if she's the type to care about something like that, then she's not worth it. Oh yeah, I really do have something to talk to you about in private. Arihiko's voice turns serious. I split my chopsticks with a snap and begin to eat my udon. What's wrong? Why so serious all of a sudden? I'll let you know right now that I don't have any money. From today onwards, I'm going to be living life as a penniless student. It's not that, damn it. What I want to know is this. What's really going on with you, Tono? What do you mean? You've been at the Arimas since primary school, right? I don't know why, but it's been 8 years already. Your dad has basically disinherited you. Why is he calling you back all of a sudden? I see. In his own strange way, Arihiko was worried about me. He didn't disinherit me, he just kicked me out of the house somehow, blah blah blah. We have seen this particular conversation before. Blah blah blah. Grabbing his bowl with both hands, Arihiko drains what is left of his chikara udon. Lunchtime is short. Following Arihiko, I decide to quickly finish my curry udon. Alright. Skip. And we are going to stay in school for a little longer. As soon as I step out into the hallway, I run into a familiar face. Huh? What's up, senpai? Do you have some business here at the second-year classrooms? Yes, business with a second-year student, to be precise. Ciel senpai approaches me with a smile. Listen, I have some nice snacks here, but no one to talk to. It would be a waste to eat them all by myself, so I came to catch an idle-looking person to talk to. Someone to talk to. But there's no one left in the classroom. It's the same with all the other classes, too. You don't usually come to the second-year classrooms anyway, do you? You're on the lower floor, right? And if she wanted someone to talk to, aren't there plenty of third-year classmates she could talk to? She really didn't need to come all the way up here. Shouldn't you think about asking your third-year classmates? Conversation would probably be better. Yes, but today I'm in the mood to talk to younger guys. Please don't ask for a reason, it's just on a whim. Well, I won't ask. I probably wouldn't be able to understand even if she told me. Senpai's smile disappears as she stares into my face. Are you free right now, Tono-kun? Well, if having nothing to do means I'm free, then I'm definitely free. Senpai grabs hold of my sleeve. Well then, you are now caught. Let's go have some tea. Senpai invites me with a smile. There's no reason for me to decline the offer, and besides, it should be fun talking with Senpai. Sure, I'll come along, if it's okay with you. Then it's decided. Alright, let's go. Still holding my sleeve, she begins walking down the hall with a light gait. Wow. Our school has a room like this? Could it be for the tea ceremony club? Yes, it's the tea ceremony club's room for now. It seems like it hasn't been used up until I came, though. There we go. Senpai steps onto the tatami mat and starts preparations with a rattling noise. A club room, huh? If that's the case, won't the other club members be coming? It'd be bad for an outsider like me to be here, right, Senpai? It's okay. It may be the tea ceremony club, but there aren't any other members except for me. Thanks to that, I can use it freely during break time and after school. Here we go. Smiling, Senpai begins spreading the cushions. Tea is tea, but it looks like this is really going to be a serious tea ceremony. To be honest, I'm a bit overwhelmed. Senpai, I don't have the slightest clue what to do. What are you talking about? I only know up to the pouring bit myself. With that blunt reply, Senpai put the teapot, Senpai put the teapot, some cups, and some tea cakes onto a plate. We are just going to have a casual conversation, so there's no need to be so formal. It isn't any fun that way, is it? Smiling softly, Senpai pours tea into her own cup. I just don't get you, Senpai. Mumbling, I pour my own tea. I slurp some. Picking up the tea cake and putting it in my mouth, I sip again at the tea. I was never involved with it, but the Arima family is a prominent tea ceremony family. Being raised in a household like that, I'm used to drinking tea and doing nothing. Senpai looks at me with a somewhat troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit unhappy. I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all of this, Tono-kun. Really? Well, my family is a strict one, so I'm used to these kinds of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about during lunch. What we were talking about during lunch. You mean about my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. If you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting, I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am, Senpai laughs. Alright then, let's continue from before. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asks, full of curiosity. Well, the conversation this afternoon must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai, since she didn't know any of the circumstances. Let's see. Basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that, I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I recuperated. So in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I knew my old man hated me for some reason, and that once I had been entrusted to the Arimas, I would never go back home. Go back to the Tono mansion, that is. That's why, well, I thought I'd just continue to live as a son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked the bucket recently. That's when they told me to return to the mansion, now that my old man is no longer there, and I finally agreed. And that, pretty much, is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. Ciel Senpai gives a little nod silently. May I just ask one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright, then I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family? The Arimas who had raised me as my parents? My mother and father who weren't my real parents, and the unfamiliar building which without a doubt was home to strangers. But completely regardless of that... No, I liked them. They were people who didn't care that I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself. And for them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by these people. That's why soon, even one day sooner, I have to truly become family to them. I had been telling myself these words since I was young. Since a very, very long time ago. Over and over, I swore till I would practically pass out. Just like Arihiko said, I didn't have a single complaint about the Arima family. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being family, even if it was all just an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy instead. In a way, I had considered the Arima parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. But it was no good, was it? Yeah. Despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I knew I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you'd call it a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Senpai is silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See? It was boring after all, right? That's why I said it would be a waste of time. No, that's not true. It was a very meaningful story. Senpai forces a smile to try and defuse the situation. but it was a little surprising because I had thought of you as an easygoing person. Well, I basically am a pretty easygoing person. It's my personal philosophy to enjoy the present as much as possible. People are happier enjoying what is to come rather than being concerned about what happened before, right? Well, actually, that was an opinion I had inherited from Arihiko. Enjoy what is to come? That sounds nice. Senpai sips her tea with a very gentle smile. I follow Senpai's example and place my lips on the cup. With a slurp, the bitter tea washes down my throat with just a hint of sweetness. I walk along a different path than the one I usually take. Passing through unfamiliar streets, I slowly approach the Tono mansion. The surroundings are not completely unfamiliar. After all, I had lived here until I was 9 years old, 8 years ago. This is not the first time I have taken this path back to the mansion. My feelings are a little complex. The path home is nostalgic, yet fresh. Up until now, I had not looked forward to returning to the Tono household. Now, it doesn't seem so bad. The house I lived in until I was 9 years old. Right now, my sister Akiha is in that utterly un-Japanese Western-style mansion. Tono Makihisa, my old man who hated me and the master of the Tono household, died a few days ago. My mother died from illness after Akiha was born, so the Tonos had dwindled down to me and my sister. Being the eldest son, you would think I would stand to become the Tono heir, but I have no such privilege. To become the Tono heir means being bound by a strict upbringing. I have lost count of the number of times my father scolded me over my dislike of not being able to live freely. That was when I got involved in that accident, and my body became weakened. My father saw it as a good opportunity to get rid of me. His reasoning was something along the lines of, someone who could die any moment can become the heir, even if he is the eldest son. Sadly for my father, I betrayed his expectations by making a recovery, but my sister Akiha was already deemed to be the heir to the Tono household. And so I've heard that Akiha, who was already being raised harshly in order to become a proper daughter of the Tono household, received an even harsher upbringing since then. That was a long time ago. I played together with Akiha in the mansion back before the accident. After that, I never saw her again. The life in the mansion I abandoned 8 years ago. Those 8 years were long, and my memories of that time have largely faded. But in spite of that, there is one thing that, even now, continues to burn strongly within my heart. And that is... It doesn't really matter which choice we make. Right here. So I am going to say about the cheerful girl. Akiha isn't the only person I haven't seen since then. I can't remember all the details because it's been 8 years, but there were other children at the mansion around the same age as me. I don't remember their names, but there were 2 girls who were twins. Father has once said that they didn't have any relatives, so he took them to work as servants. That's weird. We played together so often when we were small, but I can't remember their names. I close my eyes and cast my mind back. I should be able to remember. She was a girl who was always cheerful. So cheerful that you would become cheerful just by looking at her. A girl with a carefree personality who was loved by everyone at the mansion. Because she was close to my age, I got along very well with her, and it seemed like every day we would run around the garden together. Let's play together, Shiki-chan. she would say, and I could remember her taking me out of my room after I secluded myself inside. She would often laugh and take shy Akiha's hand, trying to make her play with us. Maybe she was older than the both of us. She would guide me and Akiha to play together, but once we started playing, she would just watch over us. Even Akiha's tutor, the harsh butler, would say, "I don't mind as long as is with you guys," and let Akiha out to play, as if there was no helping it. In contrast to that girl was the other one. On the second floor, while we played in the garden, there was always a girl looking down at us every time I turned to look at the mansion. She was the twin of that cheerful girl, but she would always gaze at us expressionlessly. That girl would never try to leave the house. All she would do was watch us with those cold eyes. Well, in the end, I only end up talking a little with her. I wonder if those girls are still at the mansion. While I think about that, I take a white ribbon out of my bag. An old white ribbon that the girls gave to me at the very end. 8 years ago, after I was involved in the accident, the day I was entrusted to the Arima family, right before I was to leave the mansion, the girl gave me this for some reason. "I'm just lending it to you, so be sure to return it." Saying something along those lines, she ran off. Afterwards, I was quickly found by one of the servants and taken to the front entrance. With no one to see me off, I walked out of the gates of that giant mansion while the Arima lady held my hand. It was my last memory of when I left the Tono mansion 8 years ago. I put the ribbon back in my bag. But it's been 8 years after all. Not only do I not know if they are still at the mansion, I can't even remember their names. To make things worse, I can't even remember which girl gave me the ribbon. Still, it's not like it was some important promise or anything. But I want to keep the promise, as long as I still remember it. I agreed to return to the mansion because Akiha is now there all by herself. I left her there for 8 years, pushing all responsibility onto her while I selfishly lived freely. I am going back because I feel guilty for what I did to her. I didn't exactly plan to use this as an opportunity to do so, but if that girl is still at the mansion, I want to fulfill the promise from 8 years ago. It's huge. The words escape my mouth when I reach the gate. For someone like me, used to living in a normal house, the Tono mansion seems well out of reality. I wonder if I rushed into this. No, it's too late to start regretting things now. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. All right. Shaking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then, the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence. "We've been waiting for you." The door opens with a creak. Inside is the lobby I remembered and a young girl in an apron. "Thank goodness! You're so late I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. Kohaku! I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset." The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. No, that's, I am so taken aback by her outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little. You're Shiki-sama, aren't you? Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama. You are, right? Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there. She gives a good-natured laugh. I have no basis for this, but she fits the image perfectly. Could it be that you're the girl who played together with us when we were small? I inquire tentatively. She gives a full smile, looking truly happy. Come, you must be tired, right? Please do come in. Akiha-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room. The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads towards the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow, a full smile on her face. Welcome home, Shiki-sama. Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitantly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years, or if they had it refurbished since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow. I've brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kohaku. Thank you. It seems that maid's name is Kohaku. Kohaku-san gives a small bow, as if to say farewell, and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and 2 girls I don't recognize. It has been a long time, Nii-san, says the girl with the long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank, and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiha that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiha I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family. Nii-san? The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiha, but it seems like Akiha already recognizes me as her brother. You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk? Akiha throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiha. People do change over the course of 8 years, Nii-san. We are at an age of change. Or did you think we'd remain like back then forever? What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiha's words. No, you've definitely changed, Akiha. You've become more beautiful than before, bruh. That isn't flattery. It's how I really feel. And, indeed, but you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all. Akiha answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiha does not think well of me. If you are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nii-san. I've heard nothing more than a sudden comeback to the mansion, though I found out in the papers the old man passed away. If the head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Word of Tono Makihisa's death reached his son, Tono Shiki, via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, this disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100 yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place. I am sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about father. Akiha quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I am sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that. Akiha's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot detach their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. For someone like me, who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need. Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to the Arimas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nii-san. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he's no longer with us, so there's no longer any need for you to live with them. That is why I had you come back here. That's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place? That may be so, but now I am the head of the Tono family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nii-san, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now. Ha! I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiha. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to. I will not ask more of you, but do try to. Or are you saying that you are unable to do what I already have? Akiha shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiha just stares at me, as if she doesn't quite believe me. You do not need to try, as long as you get the results. Her pose is dignified, her words merciless. Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care to have too many people around, so I cleared everyone out. Eh? Hold on a second, Akiha. You cleared everyone out? Cat demands attention. And I do have some other stuff to do, too. I was gonna save this break until we got through the first day, but I guess we'll do it now. So, we are taking a quick break. Take some time, stretch, grab a snack, whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in a few. Okay, we are back. Alright, Akiha was talking about how she got everyone to leave, so... hold on a second, Akiha. You cleared everyone out? You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nii-san? I've put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems. Wait, no problems? You're going to get attacked. Excuse me. You're going to get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that. Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here? Well, it's true that I would feel more relaxed, but you've only just become head of the family, Akiha. If you go around abusing your powers like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even the old man didn't go against their opinions. Indeed. That's why Father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer. Not going to put up with... Look, Akiha. Enough! Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please, just worry about your own life from now on, Nii-san. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways, Akiha says sullenly, looking away a little. Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her, Hisui. She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly. This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable? What? Personal maid? You mean... In other words, she's your servant, Akiha declares as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the Western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself. Would that include the cooking and the laundry? Akiha is pretty sharp at pointing these things out. At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the Tono house now. Please accept everything given to you. I can't say anything, and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll. Well then, Hisui, please show Nii-san to his room. Yes, my lady. Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence. I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama. Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby too. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings, with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird, whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and west wings have the same floor plan. Your room is this way, Shiki-sama. Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servants' rooms should be on the first floor of the west wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun has already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. It kind of feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. Did you say something, Shiki-sama? Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. Is this my room? Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you. No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little, no, really too fancy for me. Shiki-sama. It's fine. I'll gladly use this room. Understood. This room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you will find anything unsatisfactory with it. There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room? That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken? Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be, now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here, though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel. I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki-sama. You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards. Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require? No, not really. Why do you ask? There was very little delivered. If there's anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask. I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. That's all. Ah, that's right. I haven't asked her the important thing yet. Can I ask you something, Hisui? Yes. What is it, Shiki-sama? I'm sorry if I'm mistaken about this, but you and Kohaku-san are sisters, right? For an instant, surprise flashes in Hisui's expressionless eyes. Yes. Kohaku is my older sister. Really? Great. Then that means you two must be the girls who once lived here. I am so happy that I inadvertently raised my voice. In direct contrast to my joy, Hisui does not move. Hisui? You and Kohaku-san were the children taken in here, aren't you? We used to play together. I wonder if you remember. I close my mouth as soon as I speak. No. The girl I had played together with was the bright and cheerful one. The one who just gazed at us with those cold eyes has to be... I played together with your sister quite often. Hisui? Yes, I know. 2 years before you went to the Arima household, Makihisa-sama took in Ne-san and I. Hisui speaks as if disinterested. It's good that I know Hisui and Kohaku-san are the twins from my memories, but it seems Hisui doesn't think much of it. I see. I didn't talk to you much. I'm sorry for getting so worked up. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I must also apologize for my rudeness to you when I was younger. Hisui lowers her head. I feel really uneasy. I know Hisui doesn't mean to make me feel bad, but I don't know how to respond when a girl the same age as me says that to me. Do you have any other requests, Shiki-sama? No, nothing in particular. Very well. I shall come to call you in an hour's time. Please relax until then. As I expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. By 1 hour later, she must mean dinner. But even if she tells me to relax, how would I do that here? The clock says it's around 6 o'clock. Usually I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion? A television? Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare troubled face and stares off into space. There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. Koma stole the TV. That is the only thing I know about Koma. He took the TV. Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long? Relatives. The eldest son of Kugamine-sama from a branch of the family, Tozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son came to stay for close to 3 years. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you'd call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything bad about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch a TV. Akiha, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old half-hearted effort. Oh, there was the library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly, she looks straight at me. I believe there's one in Nasan's room. Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what? A television. I remember seeing one in Nasan's room. Hisui says, as if remembering something from many years ago. I see. Kohaku-san does like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows, but I balk at going to Kohaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'd be in for from Akiha if I started watching television. It seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life, fit for a member of the Tono family from now on. Alright, I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. You've got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. And we're gonna skip this, and we're gonna go watch TV with Kohaku again, and we're gonna skip that, and skip this, and skip this, and skip this. Oh, it's the next day now. Well, that's lovely. We probably greeted Kohaku last time. So... Well, if we're on the next day... Wait, I can save on a decision? I swear to God, that wasn't a thing. When I played this game on my own, is that part of the patch that I'm playing? Huh. Anyways, if we're through the first day, I think we might go ahead and wrap it up here for the night, because I don't want to kill my voice. So, tomorrow we're going to be playing some Grand Blue, going to be finishing up the anniversary event over there. Sunday, I might not be streaming because I'm planning to do something with a friend, but we don't necessarily have a specific time set up. So, I might not be streaming, or stream might start later than usual. We'll see how that goes. And of course, next Friday we will be back with more Tsukihime. So, thank you to everybody who stopped by tonight. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, alright. And I'm just gonna wrap it up. So I hope to see you all next time.